So welcome to AMA. We're here at Austurvöllur. This is the if you would see there, you would see the Parliament. This guy there is of course Jón Forseti or Jón Sigurðsson. He's like the most dull freedom fighter of all in the world, I think. He just wrote a lot of polite letters to the Danish king, and finally we just wore him down somehow. Well, but people are still coming in.
Hello.
Oh, a lot of people with us
So
today.
much sun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just not gonna.
More.
Oh wow.
Oh. Okay, it's time, I guess. Can you hear the church? Or?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay. We don't see that well in the sun.
Yeah, we can't see super well.
So also I have a really silly format for this. I can only see like the one that is speaking, or the one that spoke the last time. So this might prove to be a very chaotic experience.
It's gonna be a chaotic AMA.
You can change that, Valur.
Yeah, where do I?
Do we know how
With
to
the
use
view,
it?
with the view in the
Oh,
top
yeah.
right corner.
Top corner. Press the
Yeah,
View. I go to gallery.
gallery. There we go.
Yeah,
That's right.
There we go.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah, and over there. Can everybody see us and hear us?
Oh yeah.
yes,
Yes.
clear, loud and clear. Even all the way in Canada.
Brilliant. Okay, it's 3 o'clock. There's no reason to wait. Yeah, Andy Fontaine will not be with us today.
Polly has escaped.
Polly is with us though, but she's just doing her own thing, as you can see. And this is, of course,
I'm Hannah Jane. I'm the culture editor. Grapevine.
and my right hand when it comes
Yeah.
to the papers. So everything funny you read at the Reykjavík Grapevine,
That's me.
that's her. Yeah, right.
I hope.
So welcome to our AMA, 9th AMA, I think.
9th AMA.
I think this is actually a record. We are having like, there are so many people I can't even count them all. It's like,
Oh wow.
anyway, 8, 9, 10, there are like 10 people or something. That's something.
14.
14. Yeah, oh, yeah, someone has like a blacked out screens, so we can't see them. Well, anyways, we wanted to show you a little bit like how the weather is and just show you like the atmosphere in Reykjavík right now. And it is actually wonderful.
Really hot outside.
Like I said, it's been like this odd heat wave. Come on, Polly.
Polly,
You
chill.
can't show her the balls. She's like
Oh, I'm sorry. She was pulling it out of the jacket.
yeah, she's like a ballaholic. She can't
We'll
stop.
send it to Art.
That'll be even make it worse. Art,
Art, take the ball.
hide the ball for us when you get it.
How hot is it there?
It's 15, 16
15
degrees.
degrees, 16.
That is
It is 33 degrees here.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I know. It doesn't sound much, but believe me, Icelanders are like woohoo,
Party.
pieces.
Beach weather.
So before we start, perhaps I think we just should remind everybody on like our homepage, grapevine.is.
Yes.
If you haven't discovered our YouTube, then we have a YouTube channel also, and also online shop. I
Yes.
brought beer with me actually. This is First Lady, but if you're
So good.
if you're American, you can't actually buy it. There are, I think, very few countries that can buy it because of very odd, strict
yes.
laws in Iceland when
But
it comes
it's
to alcohol.
they're a really good brewery here.
Yeah, run by women, by the
Yeah,
way.
run by women. It's
Yeah.
like the only women-run brewery in Iceland. I think could be wrong at this point,
could be
but
two now.
they were the first.
So before we go, we have like a ton of questions, and I think some of these questions are from people that are there actually. So I think we should just start, like always,
With the questions.
with the questions from you. And Yves is the first man. Thank you for last time.
My pleasure, Valur. My pleasure.
I was actually gonna bring the white wine, but that he gave us, but I just I didn't have time. I was planning this like on the last minute.
No problem,
like...
no problem. I enjoyed the walking tour anyway, so it was perfect.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
So, Yves, you had some idea, like questions about these new bugs in Iceland, like called loose meat.
Loose meat. What is
Yeah.
exactly?
So the thing is, the English translation is like weird. I can't even pronounce it. And I can't remember it. It's like really small flies.
Like gnats?
Yeah, I don't know how this would be in English, but the thing is that in Icelandic, this is like lice flies. It has a very nasty name, but the thing is,
Go into arts.
he will never stop. Okay, you have to hide the ballast.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
You just need to hide the ball. He's directing. Okay. So these flies, they came here to Iceland just a few years ago. I think it's like within 5 years. They are mostly in the south of Iceland, but they are slowly moving to all parts of Iceland.
As usual.
Yeah, right. The only way for these flies to thrive in Iceland is if there is no wind, which is odd because there is always wind in Iceland. But thanks to global warming and thanks to the end of the world, we are having more, like better summers than ever before. For example, mosquitoes do not live in Iceland. They have never been able to live in Iceland, but they do live in Greenland, for example. But it's much colder in Greenland. For those who have been there, it's like literally breathing ice when you come there. But the thing is that it's always about the wind. So I think we will see more weird flies coming to Iceland than just bugs in the next 10, 20 years. But the reason that why we're like, this is actually in the news is because Icelanders, we grew up with nothing. Like there are no bugs here, nothing is poisonous. Yeah, right. And the thing is that when I am bitten by loose meat, it's like just a brutal attack on everything. I get like really nasty rashes and even like I'm bruised and everything. But friends of mine from Pakistan, they grew up in Islamabad, but they live in Iceland now. They were with us like in a summer house in the south. And while we got bitten, they didn't feel anything because they've been bitten by all kind of bugs before.
Okay.
So you can actually see this even now because the first summer that this happened, everybody in Iceland was like posting images on Facebook, and basically is but now it's like even 5 years later, it's much better, and it was much better for us the family also when we went in the summer house. So I don't know, and it's just bugs in Iceland are just weird. I don't know. It's like I don't know why some live here and some not.
There's so few bugs always, and then when you see a spider or something, it really freaks you out.
Yeah, the most poisonous animal in Iceland, they're like a bug, is actually a spider, but it's only poisonous actually when it's filled with eggs, and when it bites you, you perhaps get a hint of a headache for like a half an hour. That's like that's all the poison that you can get from that. So it's I don't know. It's nice to be in a bug-free country, to be honest.
Yeah.
Almost.
Almost, yeah, right.
It sounds like you've got black flies.
That could be. I mean, like I said, I only found like when I perhaps because it's so new, it's harder to find the correct English translation for this. But it's definitely something like this because Icelanders just use this ridiculous name, which is a very ominous and nasty in many ways.
I don't know, maybe it's like horse flies. I don't know.
No, horse flies are fine. They've been here for ages.
I have no idea.
So yeah. Anyways, I can actually look it up better, but it would only be like the Latin name of it. So, any more questions, Yves?
No, that was the only question from this session.
Okay.
Thanks for answering.
Then to Laura Rogers. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, we met before.
I actually have a question. I actually have a few. I'm scheduled to come into Iceland on the 2nd of September.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to do the walking tour with you.
Yeah.
And I was also wondering about different restrictions at like museums and things. It's
Well-
like, do you have to call ahead and schedule something, or is it only
No
per?
way.
Like,
I can say that although Iceland is on like the red list for some
Yeah.
countries, most countries, and it's like people are told to avoid the country. We are all vaccinated. This is the oddest crossroads that we have had in this
Yeah.
pandemic for so long. It's like
People are not treating it like there's 100 cases a day.
Yeah.
There's very
Right.
few like actual restrictions, as in museums and stuff. I mean, wear a mask, but you're not required to wear masks.
right. Okay.
But I think, yeah. So it's a pretty weird vibe here at this point.
yeah, the thing is that we have what's some new one? Thank. The thing is that we have because we have everyone vaccinated and we have
Right.
no gathering restrictions in the beginning of July. It meant that we got the Delta variant strain or whatever you should call it.
Yes.
We got the Delta virus in, and everybody started to get the virus. But the thing is that nobody's getting sick of it. Well, very few. It's like
Very few.
I was doing just the math, and it's like 0.05% that have gotten sick. That is in critical care, for example. And the average age is 50 years.
Well, what
I
happened?
can hear myself.
Arch, move the phone.
Yeah. Ja, it's us. Professional us. So it means that that means that basically Icelanders that are vaccinated, we really don't care. It's like nobody's getting that sick. We are doing exactly
it's
what we are
pretty
doing all
chill.
the time. Yeah.
No, okay.
chill.
And you can just see it here. It's like it's very relaxed atmosphere. So if you're vaccinated, you should be fine. Just
Yeah.
try not to be around a lot of Icelanders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then that's. But people are still wearing masks within like close confined. On the bus, most people are wearing
Right.
masks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the rule is 1 meter. If you can't avoid a person in have a 1 meter distance, then you should wear a mask. But
Okay.
I mean, even our epidemiologist says that, like, I mean, we've done as much as we can. This is not serious, but the thing is, just it's a question about our hospital, and our hospital was actually in a bad shape before the pandemic. So it's a more complex and nuanced discussion
Right.
than the pandemic right now.
Okay.
More
All right.
questions, Laura?
No, that was it. All right. So see you next month, I guess.
Yeah,
See
looking
ya.
forward to.
Yeah.
That is Ellen Papenburg from
Yeah,
Canada.
hello.
Canada.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Sorry I called you meanie when you didn't throw the ball at Polly. I was so sorry about Polly.
In the video,
just-
yeah. Not only you, my girlfriend was watching it, and she was like, "This is like painful to watch, Valur."
Yes.
But I mean, I don't know. You have to choose your like what you're playing. Like, are you gonna play with her? Like, you can see she's relentless.
Yeah.
Or are you gonna
she's-
tell the news? I would not have the time to tell the news if I would
Well-
throw as much as she wants.
1 in 10 attempts or something.
Yeah, it's true.
But anyway, are you guys watching the Perseids tonight?
The what?
Sorry,
The
what?
Perseids, the meteor shower.
Oh, there's a meteor shower tonight.
Yes.
Yo, we don't really have that dark nights, so I'm not sure if you could see it.
I doubt it. Yeah. At this point, I doubt you'd be able to. It's not dark at night.
Well, it's
Oh,
dark,
okay.
but it's
Not. I
quite
mean, like
late.
not dark enough to
Right.
see stars.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
well, there might be very, very bright ones, but you have to sort of sit still for 1 or 2 hours in a chair and looking up, and that can be boring, of course.
well, yeah. it sounds
Anyway,
like a
I
nice
also
talk.
had a question. How did you learn English? Because you're so you're so well versed in English. I'm an immigrant here in Canada. I'm from Holland
Yeah.
originally, and I'm 38 years here.
Are you
that
from
date-
Holland?
Yeah, from
Okay,
Amsterdam
okay.
originally, and but
Okay. I
but
love
when I-
Holland.
Yeah, thank you.
But you also you speak very
Yeah, your English
you
is
sp-
fantastic.
both like Dutch is very similar to Icelandic actually. You have the same like sound, and although we have like it's very different in how you write it, but it sounds very like complicated and harsh, you know.
I know. We've been in Iceland in 2019, right with Jim, who is here too with the beard, with his birthday, and then on the 1st of November, and we got free beer. That was a nice surprise.
Oh, that's good.
In the street, right? So that was
Okay.
funny. But yeah, I noticed that that a lot of things are very similar to Dutch in a lot of ways, and
Yeah,
but
right.
also English though.
Yeah.
But where did you learn
But-
to speak English?
Grapevine. No.
Grapevine. Grapevine.
No,
No,
but
just kidding.
no.
Really?
The thing is, yeah, there are. It's a little bit complicated answer. First of all, like for example, in Iceland, of course, all our entertainment is more or less English speaking. It has been like this for forever. Of course, we got a lot of European and Scandinavian like movies, TV, and such. But
Yeah.
English speaking like entertainment is overwhelming. Also, we don't dub anything. We always have subtitles,
Yeah.
meaning that we have heard English like my whole life, at least at TV and music,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, just
Also,
like in Holland. Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
yeah, right. And we start learning English when we're 11 years old. And we learn it quite fast because it's at least for us, it's a very simple language. The thing is that perhaps the most complicated about it is that of course Icelanders have a very thick accent often. I have exceptionally thick
Yeah.
accent. I don't know why I mean I could actually make it more understandable, but I feel like I would be dishonest somehow if I would make it more English or more American or whatever. I don't even.
Valur, it is cute and you're very. We understand you very well, so it is
Okay.
fine.
That's the other thing with Icelandic and English is of course that English is like Icelanders we pronounce every letter in the word exactly like it's written. It's very unlike French, for example, and of course English in some ways, meaning that our pronunciation is of course very clear often.
Yeah.
Like we say the word almost exactly like they're written. That's why it's so harsh. But I mean, but the thing is, when I started working at Reykjavík Grapevine, I found out very quickly that I was much worse in English than I ever thought. I was not hired because I was fantastic in English. I was hired because I was a journalist and as an editor, more as being like a focus, just the focus of things. But yeah, it's like I learned a lot, and I think I learned perhaps like 50% of the English that I know now, basically through YouTube, through writing with Hannah, and Hannah taught me the rest, I think.
I remember when you started, you used to always use all the Icelandic filler words endlessly, like hetna, hetna. You'd be like hetna, okay.
Allavega.
Allavega.
Yeah, it was very confusing for many because I was always using Icelandic words when I was speaking English. But anyways, it's also like I'm of course in like if you speak to Icelander, they are probably much better in English than I will ever be, and there is a reason for that also because when I was younger, of course, I was focusing on writing. And also been doing news in Iceland and been basically writing Icelandic for the longest time. And the thing is that English is infiltrating our language in very many ways. And I decided when I was like 20 years old to stop reading English books to not pollute my how I write in Icelandic. And it came back to me, of course, now. But I can easily read everything in English. I grew up reading like a lot of books in English.
Yeah.
I read like Hemingway always in English because none of it was translated. Only the only book that Ernest Hemingway has been translated is by Halldór Laxness, and it's a completely different story.
Yeah.
So it's like I learned my English more or less like this.
It's funny with English here with Icelanders. If you talk to someone probably from the age of 25 down, they have basically an American accent fully. You would not even know that they are foreign. Like I did especially teenagers right now, their English is so perfect and so American accent, you would never even guess that they were foreign. Like we're not native speakers, or we're not from America. So that's pretty wild.
That's YouTube.
YouTube.
And Icelanders consider this as a little bit poisoning for our culture. So we don't want.
That is actually the case, same thing in Dutch. And but when I came here in Canada, I had a British accent and Dutch, of course.
Right.
But hey, another question. Can we see a glimpse of Art? Because he's always doing such a great job.
He likes to stay behind the camera, unfortunately.
He's
a man of mystery.
He's very strict about this. He's not going to show anything. He's not going to show his face.
Not fair.
I mean,
how does he walk backwards, says Jim? How does he walk backwards and doesn't fall on his face?
He's a professional.
He has a tactic which is like he bends his knees a little bit, and also we have like this very nice stabilizer, and he can like put it anyways. Like if he's in trouble, he can turn around.
And the camera turns.
Yeah, it's actually it's more simple than you think.
Yeah.
Oh well, thank you for your time. I guess I took enough of your time now. Next to
the Okay, then we down to David Connell.
Hi, we're going to be there. We're going to be there in a couple of weeks, and I read an article a couple days ago about long lines at the airport. And where, as Valur says, it is what it is. When we get there, and we get there, of course, early in the morning coming from the States, and, it takes as long as it's going to take. But I guess I'm a little more concerned about when we go to come back a couple weeks later, whether how much time we ought to plan on getting to the airport so we can get through those lines, get to our plane, et cetera. Is there have any insights?
You're from the US, right?
Yeah.
My mother flew in from the US and left just a few weeks ago. Where you should be worried about lines potentially is more at the COVID testing facility that you have to go to before you board a plane. The lines there, especially right now with the Delta and everyone getting tested, can be extremely long. Even if you make an appointment, but even then, like everyone who has that time will also be in line. So that would be the place I would say there's more lines. I think, at least in terms of the few experiences friends of mine or my mom had when she visited, the lines at the airport weren't worse than they normally are. I think the line at the airport for the US that's longest is the passport control, which is the second line you go through. And that can be brutal because they only open it up right before the plane goes. And normally when I'm flying to the States or to Europe, I arrive at Keflavik like an hour before because I'm probably irresponsible or something, but the lines go super, super quick. I would give it 2 hours at this point. It's a small airport, so it goes pretty quick, but 2 hours should be enough.
2 hours should be enough.
Seems like the lines when you got there have always been long. I mean, this will be our fourth trip, and it just seems like you always waited a long time to get through passport control. But I guess the additional burden for the officials to look at the immunization sheets and the COVID tests and all that. You were talking about the COVID tests leaving Iceland. We know we need to get tested to get back into the US, and we saw there's a testing facility in Reykjavík that we were going to go to.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's where the lines are can be very extreme at the testing place. It's called PCR. I've never taken a COVID test.
Yeah.
Right.
So you go
But,
to that,
yeah,
yeah.
we went through that, both of us, and it's incredibly quick. It's not like it's long. It can be long lines. It can also just be a walk-in. It depends on how lucky you are, basically. But it goes very quickly. I mean, I was there. I was like in I don't know how
Yeah.
long my line was, but I think it took within
When were you there?
half an hour. Like when,
Recently?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
like in July, like when I was getting my second
Oh,
shot.
yeah. Oh, the
Yeah.
vaccination place.
Yeah.
That's so quick, the vaccination.
Is
But
that
no,
not the same thing?
no.
Ah,
I'm
okay,
talking
sorry,
about
sorry.
where you get you have to get like the rapid test 72 hours before you
Yeah.
get on the plane.
Sorry.
That's what you should make
Guys-
sure you block out time for.
Okay.
You guys
Okay.
mind if I jump in really quick? Because I left Iceland just last week. I'm sorry not to
Oh,
wait.
you know.
But I
Yeah.
figure
know.
I may as well just jump in now instead of bringing it back up next week. The COVID test was easy to schedule. There is a really long line, but it goes really fast. But if you're scheduled for the rapid test, they'll actually pull you out and put you in a different door, and it's even faster than that. And the rapid test
Okay.
works to get out of Iceland. So sign up for the rapid antigen test. You can start waiting in the long line, or you can go around to the doors of the facility and ask about where to wait for the rapid test, because you don't have to wait in the longer line. There were a
I
lot
didn't
of
know that.
Icelanders waiting in the longer line, and they pulled us into the really quick line for the rapid test. So that's the COVID test. And as far as the airports, it seems like Iceland Air has all of their flights arriving and leaving within the same 2-hour time span.
Yes,
were
they always
there-
do that. That's
we
typical.
were there 2 hours before, and we really should have been there 3 to 4 hours before.
My
because
bad.
Oh,
I
really?
take everything I say back.
Whoa.
The line to check
Wow.
in took ages, like just to check in.
Ah,
And
Wow.
had
Okay.
to have filled out a little form about COVID, but they did have the forms there on a table to grab if you weren't able to print one out beforehand. So while you waited in this
Okay.
never-ending line, you could fill out the form.
Oh,
And then after you got through that and you're like, I'm home free, let's just get to our gate
yeah.
stop and use the bathroom. No, because then there's the passport line that Hannah was
Yeah.
talking about.
that is so
And
long.
they only had like a couple of windows open that stretched through the entire airport just to get to D gates. That one took forever.
Ugh.
People were like
Wow.
running up to cut because they were like,
You can always,
plane
yeah.
is boarding. We're gonna
that's-
miss our plane. And we were like, all of our planes are boarding. We're all gonna miss our planes. So basically by the time we got
Yeah.
through passport check, we ran into the line because our plane was boarding. And we were like the last
Whoa.
couple, like, so
Oh my gosh.
give yourselves
Okay.
more than 2 hours, because that was a
Oh yeah, I
mistake.
take
we made.
everything I
And
say back.
actually, we always give ourselves just 2, like no matter, we always play it fast and loose, but that was the one time we were like, okay, I guess we should have cut our
Thank-
time in Reykjavík a little short. So
Thank
yeah,
you
sorry
so
to
much
interrupt.
for
Yeah,
telling us,
yeah,
because
that's
I
good.
obviously don't know what I'm talking about.
It's just been,
we
I
have
don't
a-
know if it's just right now, and it didn't even seem to be COVID related. The COVID part was just show your negative test and then hand in this
Yeah.
form.
Yeah.
It was check-in and it was passport control, which has nothing to do with COVID. So I don't understand it.
It's
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 always
American.
like
It's
that.
American thing. It's like the American lines are always tougher. It's just harder to get to America for some reason. I think you're a little bit paranoid about that.
Security. Yeah.
But
Is it-
if you're European, at least for me, like when I don't have
Yeah.
to go to the US, but
If you fly to Europe, it's very short. There's no passport. You just walk. It's very short. But yeah, the passport control, you
Oh,
never
good.
know. Sometimes there's no line, and sometimes there's a massive
Oh,
line.
yeah.
It's sort of like a dice toss.
yeah.
Yeah, I noticed
So I say-
when we were over in 2019, I have a Dutch passport and a Canadian passport, but I used my Dutch passport to go through the passport control. And Jim,
Yeah.
poor Jim, he was waiting a long time in line
Mhm.
with his Canadian passport.
Yeah,
so-
right. And even better if you're Icelandic. Actually, it's like they all like treat us like we're like odd elves or something. Like what is this? Like where is this?
Oh yeah.
Is this a real country or like just get out of here? It's actually
Okay,
quite nice. but-
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. Then we're down to Corin. Cory.
Corinne.
Sorry, Vasquez. That's better. My Facebook friend. Hi.
Hey, how you doing, both of you? Good to see you. Can you hear me?
We,
Fantastic. Yes,
yeah,
yes, we can
now,
hear you.
yeah.
Okay. And hi to Polly too. Well, you've answered a lot of my questions. I've already been writing down notes from what everybody's been saying about from the passports to how long to be there at the airport and everything. I was really worried when the other day they announced putting Iceland as one of the advised do not travel there. I was like, dang it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least got some information here that I appreciate from everybody that is helping me weigh my options.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping in October for my birthday, but we'll see what
Ah,
happens.
nice. Yeah, right. That would be wonderful.
Yeah,
I
maybe
was
catch your
about-
number for that.
Yeah, I
With a
can
little-
promise you that in October, like because we are now going to vaccinate the children from like 12 up to 15, 16.
Right.
I mean, this will, as it's going right now, no Icelander are stressed about this. Nobody's really, very few are getting sick from this. So I think COVID will not be as much of a factor a few months from now.
We hope.
We hope. Of course. Also-
We've been wrong on this
Yeah.
before.
yeah, it's always the famous last words.
Yeah,
It's not a problem.
We've been wrong before.
At least it's a feeling now.
Yeah, well, let's hope. We can only hope. But it's, what was it I was gonna ask here? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes here.
No problem.
And I know I mentioned this like the first time I did one of these AMAs when the lava was gonna hit the road, maybe over by Grindavik, but
Yeah.
now there's talk like it went the other way and it's going through Medavir Valley, and some people on YouTube are
Ah.
saying it's headed for Reykjavik, and I'm like, hope not.
Can you hear this squeaking something? Jesus.
Oh, sheesh. Yep.
That car needs to get repaired. What is that?
Is that the evil spirits
Yeah,
screaming?
that is. It
Um,
sounds like someone has like every tire is flat. Every tire is flat. Okay, it's done.
Yeah, sorry, Vasquez. I read this question and I remember it when you say it. It's interesting because I've seen in connection with the volcano, there are two types of like people that are actually looking at this, like for the like how spectacular it is and it's just fun to watch, and those that are like really stressed about it. The thing is, just about the Reykjavík angle, like could the lava go from Meradalir to Reykjavík?
Right.
The honest answer is yes, but there are a few factors that needs to happen before. The volcano needs to be like 100 times more powerful,
Yes.
and it needs to go on for like 50 years.
Oh, boy.
So it's like, let's just say like the odds are not in the volcano's favor. And before that would happen, actually, it would burn down Vogar, which is like a town of 5,000. It would burn down Grindavik, which is also a town of 5,000. And then it would probably burn down Reykjanesbær, which is like 15,000 people. So this is not the case. Also, this volcano seems to be the most like considerate volcano I've ever seen.
It's been really, really kind to everyone.
Yeah, it's like oh, are we gonna destroy the road? Like let's just tone it down a little bit. it's not a
Pretty
problem.
chill right now.
Yeah, it's one
So-
unpredictable volcano.
Yeah, right. But it's never dangerous somehow, unless of course you're walking like
On the
next,
lava.
yeah, on the lava or next to it.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to check, because you can't always rely what you see on YouTube. Some of them, like I said, like the real
Thing,
extreme,
yeah.
pretty informative. Oh, just ask, go. And
Yeah.
I also want
I mean, it's
ahead.
fun to think about it. I mean, it's also just if let's just say if nothing changes, the volcano would actually be like it was like a month ago. Then if it would be on like for 50 years, it would reach the main road between Reykjavík and Keflavik, but it takes 50 years. It's like I'm not optimistic that it will be so for so long, and and it seems like it's actually dying down. It's like on its last breath, if you will. It's already becoming it's already like the strongest volcano that's been there for I don't know how long. All of these volcanoes are very slow and very small. So
Right.
I don't know. So we down to the guinea bear. Ginny.
Ginny.
Hi.
Hi.
How do you say it? Ginny bear or guinea?
It's Ginny.
Ginny, like Harry
Ginny.
Potter.
Harry
Yeah.
Potter.
Ginny Weasley.
Didn't read
Yeah,
that.
it's
Wrong age.
from Virginia.
Okay, hi.
Ah.
Hi, I'm coming to Iceland in 2 weeks. I'm very excited, all vaccinated and everything. And the planning
Yay.
part has been so much fun. I watched the Grapevine and other trustworthy links and buy books, and I'm just so
Okay.
excited.
Okay.
The plan is to try and see the volcano, but if not, we're going to spend about a week on the south coast.
Yeah.
And I've booked part of our hotels, and I haven't booked some of them because I thought maybe we can just go and just, not have to plan everything, but just see what happens. But is that a bad idea? I mean, usually the South Coast is really popular and it's full of tourists.
Yeah.
But what
Yes.
about this year?
I would book in advance. I was looking, I'm staying in the South Coast for one night. Where's?
Yeah, we lost it to the next group.
I would book. I was looking actually at hotels and Airbnbs. I'm going for like 2 nights to the south, and like stuff is starting to fill up. So I would probably book in advance just in case. Also, there's not very much there. Like you think there's probably more hotels than there really are at this
Yeah,
point.
that's true.
So you never really know. I would book, but I'm also like I'm like an over planner.
Now, just to complicate this, I disagree. The thing is, there are way less tourists in Iceland, and especially in the winter months. And I think you should be fine if you want to be completely like 100%. But the thing is, someone will always make sure that you get to sleep somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
So you will never be like, they will say like, no, we're fully booked. You just have to go out in the night and just drive forever.
Yeah, bye.
Nobody's gonna do that. So you're fine. But the thing is that perhaps there are fewer staffs and like it's just a technicality of things, But I think you should be definitely if you want the freedom, you should be safe.
This is the biggest cultural difference right now.
It's like,
and I'm like, is this a good example?
Look ahead.
I think this is a good example of the famous Icelandic phrase, "Þetta reddist."
Exactly. I believe it's gonna be like that.
It does. I mean, you will be fine, but if you
So
and I will be meeting you towards the about a week from today, 2 weeks from today on the city tour.
Okay, looking forward to it. It's always fun to meet everyone. I just met Eves, like, what was it, last week? Was it in July? Yeah, I met him in July. That was fantastic.
Sure.
It was like, I was so glad to meet him. I hugged him, like, because he was like the first one that was with us in the AMA.
Yeah, I know. I was the first. Only one AMA number 1. Yeah. No, that was great to meet you.
You want to add something more, Ginny?
Can I bring Polly anything?
Sure. She loves candy and balls. Balls,
Bring her a
basically.
little hat.
She has a simple taste.
I'll see if I can find a Seattle ball.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Thank you very much.
You too.
Thank you.
Jim, husband of Ellen, right?
Yeah, he will talk through my microphone. Otherwise, we get feedback.
Okay. I can't hear you that well though.
Yeah, I can't hear it.
I don't know what your question was.
Okay.
I'll have to get another chance, I guess. Just give me a moment.
Now I can hear
We
you.
can hear you perfectly now.
Yeah, but he forgot his question, and I did too. He told me, and I forgot promptly.
Okay. Well, when you remember, Jim, just jump in. It's no problem. Philip, hey Philip, how are you?
Good. How are you?
So it's good. It's so hard to see you in the sun. It's like I'm not sure who anyone is.
Yeah.
See you again. Two, potentially 3 questions. The first one's really simple and obvious. Probably. Do people use Revolut over there much?
Oh,
sorry, repeat that.
Do people use Revolut much over there? Because I know when they brought it in here first, people kind of gave you funny looks.
Use what?
Revolut, the blue card.
Revolut. I don't know what it. Oh, I don't know what. I don't know what it is. Revel.
Well, that kind of answers the question, I guess. It's like a debit card thing. It's like an independent bank card.
Oh, where are you from? Where are you located?
Ireland.
Where?
Ireland.
Ireland.
I
Oh,
can
then
show you.
no, I've never heard of it. Don't show us your card.
Well,
Write
it's
down the
far
numbers,
away
write down
from the
the
camera. Like,
Amazing.
that's
That's
silly.
American thing. Yeah, we're gonna
Like-
steal
Write down
it.
the
like
number.
looks
See,
like
see.
that color.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Everything in Icelandic is like that. You can't
Yeah.
even pay with money in many places.
No, not
Grand.
really.
Like, I
I've only
haven't
just
seen,
started
like,
using it.
cash.
So
Yeah. I haven't seen
Yeah.
cash like in years.
yeah, I only just started using it. So, and when it first came in here, everyone kind of gave you a suspicious look when you tried to pay with it. So it was like just kind
You're
of
like committing fraud or something.
yeah.
The thing is,
Um,
like, if it's electronic,
If it has the chip, you're fine.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
if it has
Don't.
the
If
chip.
it doesn't have a chip, then no.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, it's a Visa card. It's just it's
oh,
Yeah.
if it's Visa, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
Everything.
it was
everything
MasterCard, now it's Visa. So
Yeah.
Iceland stopped using like real money, I think, in 2005 or something,
It's been-
like
I-
before you came here.
Yeah, I have I'm buying a car today with cash. So I have like an envelope in the office with like the most cash I've ever
Okay.
seen.
The police, they will call the police.
I know. I felt
like
I
that's-
was. I felt like I was doing something illegal. But no. As long as you Mastercard and Visa are fine here. American Express often doesn't work.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that
That
would
can
be the
be-
one.
But they actually, Icelanders have a trick for this. Just ask about it, and they will definitely know how to fix it.
cool.
Oh,
Cool.
no.
Do you have any other
You
questions?
Yeah,
remember-
the
Yes.
next question then. I'm coming on the 2nd to the 11th of November. So
Okay.
I'm wondering, are you going to be doing the tours that late, or will it be
Yes.
too terrible outside?
Yeah, just to tell you, here's the plan. We don't really have a plan. We're seriously going for that kind of mindset. As long as people want to be with us, we're fine with it. And the thing is, it actually turns out to be, I thought this was going to be really boring, but I'm absolutely enjoying this. Bjartmar is enjoying this, and Polly is loving it because she's getting like extra 2 hours walk.
fun.
Yeah, of fun basically.
Tours are fun.
So as an Icelander, we think in a very practical way. We don't think like, how can I do this thing? We think like, how can I do this thing while I'm doing this thing and this thing? We try to do 3 things at a time, all the time. So this is basically it. November, we will definitely be there. But the thing is that why we haven't put it on the booking page is it's just weather. It's like, if the winter will turn out to be a disaster, then we kind of have to rethink how we do it, and that's but we will probably do it anyway. It will just perhaps be a different kind of trip.
All right then. If it doesn't work out for the tour, then I guess I'll just ask you the most common one-word question asked in Ireland. Pint.
Okay. What? Sorry.
Huh?
Ha.
Ah,
I can't hear you,
we
Philip.
can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I said I'll ask you if it doesn't work out with the tour, like if it's not going on in November, I'll ask you the shortest question, the one-word question and most common question asked in Ireland. Pint.
Oh, okay.
Pint
I got
question mark.
Pints?
Would you guys want to
Pints?
grab a pint
Pints?
with
Is
me?
Yeah.
that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I want some beer.
Ah, yes. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Always. Like, please.
Daddy. See you then.
I'm down for it.
Cool.
Okay,
I'll send you a
Jim,
message across the time anyway.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Just add me on Facebook or something. It's
Yeah.
no hassle. Then we're down to Christina Height.
Actually, Jim remembered his question.
Ah, yes,
Ah,
Jim.
Jim.
Jump in.
I just wanted to know how many people go on the walking tour with you.
Yes, I actually did the math today. I love this. Although Bjartmar is always making fun of how bad I am in math, I'm actually pretty good in math. But so the last month, in July, we got like 33 people or something, or 34, and we did it in 1 week, and it was very fun. But now we have like around 70 people. So I did the math, and it's like 103%
Growth.
in growth. Yeah,
Wow.
which is
That's a
pretty
good
nice.
business. But
Yeah.
but by that you mean like how many are on each tour usually?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, like how many individuals, like how many bookings, sorry. every tour with us is like it has been 1 up to like 14 people.
You never know.
You never know, kind of.
You could get a private tour.
Yeah, I mean, and we do it with one person. It's not we might actually stop that, but right now we don't really care because it's way too nice of a weather.
Yeah. Good, thank you.
Thank you. So, Christina.
Hey guys, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Sorry.
Yes,
Yes,
now
we can.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, since I already talked about the airport, you guys know I was there recently. I got the new.
Yeah, right.
I got a copy of the.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Eve's actually asked my question about the flies because I was not prepared for the flies. We were in Reykjavík and the flies were just attacking our face the entire time. So yeah, that's the only thing that I was going to bring up because I just was not prepared for that at all. And they had mosquito nets that you could buy to put over your head down at like the visit shop. But when we saw that, we were like, that's crazy. We're not going to get that. And then on the hike, we were like, wow, we wish we'd gotten that. Because they were just awful.
This used to be more of a problem when we were going to the east of Iceland, for example. And also, I mean, we always had flies, but they are perhaps annoying, but they don't really do you anything.
I haven't noticed.
Yeah, they didn't bite us. They just were flying at our face the whole time. So we wore our masks and hats to cover our ears and our like nose and mouth.
Really? Jesus,
Yeah.
is that bad?
Wow. Okay.
I haven't noticed it at all. When I've been in the countryside this summer, I haven't seen any bugs, but that's
say the same. But this is the price of no wind, actually.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like we always like goddamn wind, and then we don't have wind. We're like goddamn flies. There's always something.
You can always complain.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to defend that. It's just these are immigrants that are like attacking us. If you want to be racist about it.
It's good to know that it's because of no wind, because it wasn't on the days that there were a lot. It wasn't windy. But yeah, you guys have already covered that. I was bummed to not be able to go on a Valur tour because you were on vacation the week that we were there. So maybe next time. And then the only other thing that I've got is whenever you guys do the video, will you put up that women-owned brewery name in like the YouTube notes so that we know it?
Yes, First Lady.
Yeah, I'll write it down.
That's the name of that. It's called a Lady Brewery.
Lady Brewery.
They're awesome. We did an interview with them a few years ago. If you Google Lady Brewery Grapevine, you can read the article. They have such a great story. It's inspired by like, you know, beer making used to be a female profession. Like it was considered something only women did. And then like, later it was sort of co-opted into a very masculine thing to do. But they're very inspired by like the old practice of brewess is what you would call it. Brewess is the name for a female beer maker back in the day. Like they're inspired by that practice, and they have just a really cool philosophy.
Also, First Lady is an excellent beer.
Really good.
I always love this. It's like
I wish we'd known
a
about
little bit
it.
stronger than I want. It's like anyways,
I wish we'd known about it. And then you guys came out with your list of queer-owned businesses.
Yeah.
Like right after we got home, and we were like, no, my wife and I would have loved to go to all of them. So, hit up those businesses.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear you liked that list. We were super excited making it. Yeah.
So I jotted them all down for next time, which who knows may not be for like 4 years or something, but we'll see.
We'll make an updated one.
Yeah. You send us an email and we update
it the next time. I'll be like, what's the updated list of queer-owned businesses and women?
Yeah, it was really funny. There's basically a group on Facebook for all the queer people in Iceland. More or less, and I post like everyone, you know, this is a small country, and I posted on it. I was like, hey, who owns a business? What business is it? And everyone was like, oh, this one, and then everyone's like, oh, that's my favorite cafe. And it was like a really lovely experience just to see everything in one list.
Did you come with did you travel with like what was it called, Gay Iceland or
Pink Iceland or Pink Iceland?
Yeah. Did you come with Pink Iceland? Or?
No, I'm a tour guide actually. So I like to plan my own trips. So I just planned my own trip. We went up to the north. We went to the beer baths near.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was amazing. 1,000% recommend going to the beer baths.
It's so much fun.
Spectacular. Yeah. And then we went to the east to see some puffins. They were so cute. They were smaller than I thought.
They're
Smaller, yeah.
But shout out
Yeah,
to Pink
yeah.
Iceland. If you and know any queer couples that are planning on getting married in Iceland, contact them. Pink Iceland plans the most amazing
Yeah, nice.
getaways, weddings. They're just the loveliest people. I can't say enough good things about them.
Cool. Maybe I'll contact them and be like, do you want a queer person from Pennsylvania to come and work for you and live in Iceland? Thank you.
Yeah, hire me.
Exactly.
Yeah, you never know, man.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Where
That's
in
all-
Pennsylvania are you?
I'm in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now
if you
it's
guys visit
down
Pittsburgh,
to-
take my ghost tour.
Yes.
Oh,
Good.
you do
Ghost
ghost
tour,
tours?
really?
I've done ghost tours all over the states. Every city I go to, I love them.
Oh,
There's
All
so
right,
much,
well,
there's so
when you're
much
back
fun.
in the States, visit Pittsburgh.
I'll
take
drive,
you
yeah, I'll
for
drive
a
over.
beer, I'll give you a ghost tour.
Yeah.
it's a deal, actually. I love that.
I went on one in New Orleans and I actually still have nightmares about one of the stories. It
Yeah.
really freaks me out. Really freaks me out.
Well, Rachel, Norman, right?
Hi. So I guess my first question is going to be, are there ghost tours in Iceland?
Yes.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
There was.
Yeah.
Sorry. There were. They used to do the. Okay, They used to do them over the summers. It was sort of a sporadic thing. People would pop up and do them, but there is no like regular place that does ghost tours at this point.
Wow, we should actually do that.
Yeah, write that down.
Yeah.
That's worth it.
We actually, we're thinking about, I'm writing a script now for art. We want to tell you like the old folklores in Iceland, and there are like tons of ghost stories. And we're going to start on like telling you ghost stories on our YouTube channel, of course. I have no idea how to do this. This is always like, I was just looking at it at YouTube, like how so tacky and so like,
I love
it's
those.
so Americans also, but I didn't find anything like in English about other cultures than American culture for some reason. And
Americans like these kind of ghost
Yeah.
spooky.
Americans are just using YouTube too much. It feels like the rest of the world
Your
hasn't cut out.
sons spend all day on YouTube.
Okay, I'm busted there.
Ghost tours are a
Anyway,
great way to
yeah.
get to know a city. I think that would be an
Yeah.
amazing addition to your tours. I think that'd be a lot of
That'd
fun.
be awesome.
I like doing ghost tours when I go to a new city.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually a very
Yeah,
nice
that's
idea.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. We had our trip canceled back in July, and we're still trying to
Oh.
figure out when we can reschedule, because we definitely want to get back there again. We miss it.
Well,
We
if
love
you
seeing just
if
how
you don't
beautiful it
mind
is
the
there.
cold,
today.
if you don't mind the cold, then you should come at before New Year's Eve. It's the nicest time. It's dark. You have fireworks, and Iceland in the winter time is very different from the summertime. But it's I don't know where you're from, but if you're from like a place that you actually have winters, and you know this of course. But yeah, it's like it's a very different and very nice country when it's white and like cold and brutal.
Yeah, we actually are trying to see if we can get there for New Year's Eve, because I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We're from
Very
Toronto,
Yeah, right.
and so we do get winters, and we have had minus 40 degrees and
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, that's
other
way too cold.
colder
Way cold.
temperatures. And I see
Yeah.
what the weather is like, between Reykjavík and Akureyri, and it never seems to get any colder than I'm comfortable with, and certainly never any warmer than I'm comfortable with. So it seems to be the most
Sorry.
perfect temperature for me.
Sure as a helicopter. Yeah, it doesn't actually get so cold here at
No,
all. It does
no.
not get cold here. Like
Not
I'm,
this cold.
it's
no.
not. I'm from New York. It's way colder there in the
Much
winter.
colder in New York, and a lot of places in the U.S. are much colder. It's just the only thing about the winter is it's unpredictable, meaning that if you're not always prepared for it, it can be because of wind,
It's very
strong
windy.
winds.
Very windy.
Yeah, it can be a little bit brutal, but when it comes to numbers, we are not that cold.
Not at all. Not at all.
The one thing I loved about when I, in my last Icelandic language class, we were talking about weather and just how many words there are for snow, all the different variations of snow. And I
Yeah,
thought
right.
that was hilarious, because we have, in English, it's snow, regardless of what kind of snow it is.
Yeah,
So
right.
I actually sent in,
I don't know.
I sent in two questions by email, but One was very serious and the other one was a little more lighthearted. So I'll ask the lighthearted one. How do you feel about Icelandic appreciation groups, like groups that get together and talk about language or their heritage, or it could just be Icelandophiles like me and loving the country and not being from there? Does that seem creepy to you, or is it charming?
No, I don't think so.
Like knowing that they're you might have
the
distant cousins all over the world?
Is that I mean, we grew up with like there have always been like when people like are taken by Iceland, if that's the word, or fall in love with it, they fall like hard for it. And the thing is that we've had these people since I was a child. Like they used to be mostly like geologists, a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's also German, very German and like mid-Europe kind of culture. We always had like a strong like tourism from there when we had no tourism. So it's like I'm quite used to it actually, that people are like, they are very fascinated by everything in Iceland. And understandably, it's so very different from everything else, I think. Well, nature-wise at least, the culture is just like it is. But I mean, I haven't actually noticed many of these groups, but
they always share our stuff from the Grapevine. That's how I see them.
Yeah, okay.
They always share our articles from the Grapevine on to their Facebook groups. I mean,
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah,
It's just, I mean, I'm also like taken by other cultures often. It's like I was in Croatia some 2 years ago, and I was absolutely in love with just Eastern Europe and all of that.
Oh, yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, so it's like, and when I was younger, I was very obsessed with like old Russian culture and and it's like mostly like the cultural elements of it, and like the literature and music and everything. So I mean, I completely also just identify with this, like falling in love with another culture in just I wouldn't say a perverted way, but it's like there's a little bit more than the usual person too. So.
I think the only time people have like trouble with that is like with the Viking appropriation, sometimes by like white nationalist groups. Then it gets really sketchy.
For sure.
And it's just often tacky.
Yeah, tacky. And that's the only time I ever hear people in any way complaining about people being like really into the Nordic countries is when it gets to like the weird, like Viking, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And appropriating certain runes and
like the Thor's hammer and that kind of
and mostly because it's just such a weird misunderstanding, you know. It's like, and also like if you would be in a heathen society, I think these losers would be the first to be killed or sacrificed.
I don't think they do particularly well.
They would not thrive well in this in these societies. Also because the Vikings were very cultured, actually, in many ways. Both they traveled a lot, and they were always writing, and they were poets, and they were like, all about like being honorable. And the honorable thing was always to, for example, to help those that were those that were in need, unless we were invading them.
I was going to say, or take slaves from the Celtic.
Well,
Celtic
but in our defense, it was all European slaves. It was like all from Denmark or Sweden or Ireland, most of them, of course. That's why like all of our women are basically more or less Irish descendants. Anyways, our brutal backstory. Anything more, Rachel?
I had another more serious question that had to do with crime in Iceland. I study criminology, and I'm very fascinated by the crime that happens there, which is thankfully a lot less than what happens in the rest of the world. And I have been reading about the Viking squad as well, that very seldomly gets called out to duty. But do you suspect that there's crimes that are influenced by other countries, or do you feel that certain crimes are on the rise there?
Bike theft?
Yeah, right. The thing is, I used to work as a crime reporter for like 10 years as a journalist. And we definitely had some like influence from other countries. Our strongest influence was basically from other Scandinavian countries and the biker gangs. In the US, you have Hells Angels. We also have that very strong in Denmark, for example. We have also banditos and these gangs. They tried to have a foothold in Iceland, but the police took them and literally just kicked them out of the country in a very even it was they were probably breaking a lot of human rights when they were doing it, but they wouldn't say human rights, but like they were breaking the right for the citizenship and such. But the public was very forward for it. So also we had, of course, in 2004 or 5, we had the Eastern European countries. They were allowed to travel freely within the EU, and therefore to Iceland. We got some Eastern European, like I wouldn't say mafias. It's like, yeah, we got some hardcore criminals to Iceland. Some of them became like, I wouldn't say crime bosses, but there are definitely these crimes are like, let's just say like there's an odd like rule in Iceland. There is like civilians are very most often civilians are not like in these not casualties in this.
Yeah. That's a big difference.
For example, in Denmark, it's been very different, as well as Sweden and Norway. But in Iceland, if this happens, they literally shut them down. I mean, we have drug problems. 90% of our crimes are more or less just junkies stealing stuff or killing each other.
Domestic violence as well.
Yeah, and we have domestic violence. It's going down, thankfully. It used to be, sorry. Of course, in the pandemic, it actually went up again, like in most of the countries, and this was a headache. So it's like, like I would not say that, for example, that we have like a strong like foreign mafia in Iceland.
No.
For example, like you in the US, you would have like perhaps the Russian mafia. There's nothing like close to it here. It's very, it's a little bit just business with a dash of violence.
I think like from my perspective as an American, like who moved here, the thing about like civilians not being the like victim of crimes is a big thing here. Like unless you are involved in sketchy behavior, the idea that ever you would be in a violent situation or something bad would never happen. Again, like maybe someone will steal your bike. I think that someone stole 2 of my bikes, so I'm that's a big problem. But like I think from my perspective in America, you grow up with this sort of like mentality that you could be the victim of some random person. You know, someone can rob you in the street. You're going to be in a mass shooting. You're going to be in a school shooting. These are like just realities that you grow up under. That kind of mindset does not exist here. Also, I mean, they're with the difference in gun control and also the media coverage of crimes and stuff. There is a certain difference there, and I think that is also responsible. But again, like obviously there would have to be studies on this. But from my own experience, that's like the different attitude is this civilian, this take that like random civilians are not going to be. It's only people who get involved in bad behavior that would ever be the victim of bad.
And also like for example, when the bikers came here, and they are still here actually, some of them. That was like aggressive media coverage that like, and the repercussion of that was that police was really harsh when it came to that, and they just turned them around on the borders, said like you're not allowed to come to the country, and there were court cases just because of that, said like you can't turn us around because we haven't committed the crime, and even the court cases said like we don't care, so you just go back to where are you from.
There's a difference in the media coverage where like criminals here don't sort of become like figures, whereas which is what happens in I think European countries and America. Like someone commits a crime and you know that their name, their face, and they become this sort of like figure, whether that's like in a celebratory sense or a like an extremely negative sense. Like they become like a character themselves, and that adds a certain, and
sometimes
like,
that's part of their goal too.
100%. Like that's why people shoot up schools and mass shootings. I mean, is right, like to leave a legacy or something, but like that kind of view is not here. The media takes everything very differently. The average person takes this kind of stuff very differently.
Also, but just to be clear, like Icelandic media did do this. We have occasion about when like samples of this. But today it hasn't been like this for years, I think. also like crimes in general, not only in Iceland, is actually in the US the same, probably in the Canada, probably in Europe in whole. Like crimes are just going down slowly. They've been declining for years. Crimes in Iceland are mostly, I think, I would say 95% is junkies and alcoholics. It's just people abusing stuff and getting into trouble.
Mhm. Well, I know that, I mean, Iceland has very often been on the list for the safest place one of the safest places in the world, and certainly one of the safest for women. And I think that a lot of other countries, including my own, have a lot to learn, and could certainly look up to Iceland to make some changes. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but I certainly wish they would. So congrats on being overall a very safe place.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much. I won't take any more of your time. I look forward to the ghost tour when we visit next time.
Yeah, right. Thanks for the idea, Rachel.
Rachel, are you from Toronto, did you say?
Yes.
Oh, well, we are from Kitchener.
Kitchener, almost neighbors.
Oh, I can't hear the difference. Do you hear the difference on the accent? Did you realize he was from Canada? Wow, okay.
When we go to Toronto, it's like going to the tropics.
Yeah. Toronto is like the tropics for us, yeah.
Oh, it's hell for me, but I do notice that there's one thing that Canadians do very often is they like to be very proud that they're Canadian, and I almost did it, and I noticed that some other people here on the gallery view did it. They actually put Canada in their name. And I think that's just a Canadian thing. We tend to do that. And even like, you know, we meet somebody new and maybe we start talking about music and we'll say, oh my goodness, so-and-so is from Canada. We have this musician, or we have this artist, or we have this actor. They're Canadian. And we have to specifically point out that they are Canadian. I guess we have so little to hang on to.
Icelanders do the same thing.
We are guilty of exactly the same
Icelanders do that to like an extent that it's like, you know.
Yeah, we even had like an astronaut that was like actually a Canadian, but he was like born in Iceland and lived here for 3 years.
So it was like an Icelandic.
Yeah, like the Icelandic guy went to space. No, he's Canadian, man. Come on. So, I don't know.
Canada gets often forgotten, you know. Even in Holland we didn't know much about Canada at all and everything about the US. So that's probably why.
Yeah.
Well, Iceland has a strong connection with Canada and had since the 1800s. So, yeah. Graham. Dempster. How do you say that?
Yeah, Graham Dempster. You got it right. Yeah, Graham. Yeah. I'm from Toronto. It's actually quite hot here right now. Yeah, it's about 40 degrees humidex this week during the days. Although today's kind of cloudy.
Yeah, it's been gross.
Yeah, horrible. I'm hoping to get over to. Actually hoping to spend New Year's in near Thingvellir around later this year if I can, but I'm also hoping to get to Airwaves, and I wanted to get sort of the news on the ground. Is it actually going to happen, do you think? I know that they still make it seem okay.
It's going to happen. Yeah, I talk to Airwaves often. It's going to happen. The full lineup will soon be announced. Obviously a lot of the lineup has already been announced, but they are very, very serious about making it happen in whatever capacity makes sense this year. I would be absolutely shocked if it was fully canceled. They have been taking it super seriously. They are extremely excited.
Yeah.
And the lineup looks great. There's some really amazing local acts, like really cool that some people have been brought to the main stage. There's some really great international acts. Like we will certainly be covering it as we always do. I'm very, very excited for Airwaves. So yeah, it's definitely happening.
I am very optimistic. I mean, to be honest, I don't know for how long this will go on, like the pandemic, like it is going on now. But it's interesting because everybody is more or less vaccinated, meaning that in the end we will probably manage to kill this down, or it will become like, I mean. The gathering ban would perhaps be, I mean, right now this is like the most serious situation we've been in for the longest time, and we have like 200 people gathering ban, and you can make a good party with 200
people. Come on.
Yeah, right. So I think there will always be some venues. Also, the best venues I always went to was like at the small bars.
For sure, yeah, and that's where you see the best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
I think airwaves will happen. I mean, they've been at this point, like, you know, we had Pride last week, and while like, you know, the parade was canceled and a lot of, you know, the majority of things were canceled, they're now figuring out how to make bigger things work.
But the parade was canceled because usually we have like 50 to 100,000
like 100,000 people there. It's never gonna. It was not gonna be safe.
It's like
but,
1/3 of Icelanders go out and check it out.
to have fun. But it's they like so like I think now we're starting to figure out ways to have these big events in a safe way. Because Pride certainly had about 2 like very, very big shows. But they, you know, obviously it was safe. Like, you know, they had small audience, but so airwaves will happen. I would be literally absolutely shocked. Oh, they're gonna like, I bet you in like a couple months when it's canceled, I'm just gonna get this like sent to me. Airwaves, they're like, you're spreading fake news or something.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask you, because I know they are probably under contract that they have to go full steam ahead, but I just wanted to get like a,
I think again, I talk to them regularly. They are like they have like every intention to have it this year. They are super excited. It's going to be really nice to have it come back. I'm very excited. So yeah. I
think so.
Any picks for this year? Any artists? I'm into this
Power
sort of
Paladin.
the off. Yeah. Are they
Paladin,
local?
Yeah. All the stuff I like is local. Power Paladin is Iceland's only power metal band. They're amazing. They're fantastic. I love them. I'm their big fan.
They're very fun. Nice. If you want to go absolutely nuts, I haven't checked the lineup well enough to say anything about it. But I like the electronic stuff, but he likes the rock and roll. So
a lot of our Grapevine Music Award winners are performing this year, so we have those recommendations.
You will like always see the best of the best when it comes to Icelandic music scene.
Power Paladin though, don't miss them.
I'll put it on the list. Thanks very much. No, that's good.
Well, that is Brianna in Montana. Wait, that rhymes, right?
Yeah. You actually pronounced it correct. So. So I actually visited earlier this summer for almost a month, obviously fell in love. Been a big fan for about a year. And I just graduated in geoscience here in Montana. And I'm a student who's on the spectrum. So I have Asperger's, or obviously, I think in the US only, it's not a global thing, but Asperger's is actually part of autism spectrum disorder now. But what I really want to know is I know that Iceland is traditionally very accepting of different, gender identities and just any individual difference that someone has. But what's the view and what is the social acceptance level or support or accommodations for those of us with invisible disabilities? Because I want to apply for graduate school. My favorite volcanologist is a professor at the University of Iceland. And my special interest, which most people on the spectrum have one, is volcanology. And I've pretty much been obsessed with it forever. So it'd be a dream come true.
You should send Andy Sophia an email about this. She would be the authority on this kind of thing. Send her an email.
You're talking about disability.
Invisible, this like autism, Asperger's, invisible disabilities. You should absolutely send Andy Sophia an email. Her email is andy@grapevine.is. She knows a lot about this and knows probably every resource about this in Iceland.
Just a quick thought. It's like Icelanders could be better in this. Yeah, we are fine when it comes to feminism and such. This discussion has been out there, but it's not been close to being as loud as the feminist discussion or anything like that.
Gay rights and stuff.
Or gay rights, exactly. The thing is that, it really depends a little bit where you are in Iceland when it comes to this. Icelanders are a little bit like a no bullshit people. They like you if they like you. If they don't, they just don't. Nothing more complicated about it. I think Icelanders are not very considerate often when it comes to this, and especially when it comes to the countryside. The countryside is very fine, but I grew up in a town which is very, very close to Reykjavík, and there were people that were obviously like in retrospective, like with the disabilities, but they were like almost mocked and just they were just considered as weird and such. So
that was back then though. That would
it's still
really?
actually a
Yeah,
little
and
bit like
honestly,
that.
it was the same
So-
for me growing up. I wasn't
Yeah.
diagnosed until actually very recently at almost 40. But in the US, it's really, girls were never diagnosed almost ever
Yeah,
when I
right.
was a child.
Yeah.
And to this day, for all the thousands of universities that we only have 60 that actually have an autism support system in place or a program in place. And yet they're still not designed they're more designed for like teenagers who are just experiencing independence living for the first time.
Yeah.
It's not so much, someone say like myself that's just finding out, who's just trying to like maybe iron out some executive function, issues or whatnot. So just trying to find some support, I guess, academically, with writing skills or something. And so that's what I'm wondering is, what kind of support is available in Iceland and in academia. I wonder about whether or not to actually include the fact that I'm on the spectrum in my graduate application even.
Yeah, I think,
Because I don't know if there's a stigma.
So I don't think there would be a stigma in terms, I think you can put it on your application.
Yeah.
That would be absolutely fine. And that would not work against you in any way. I would be shocked if it did. That said, if you send me an email as well, I know two women who are on the autism spectrum, one of who was at the university, the other one is a foreigner. So she would definitely be like, have a perspective on this that is way more knowledgeable than ours.
That would be wonderful. That's what I've been trying to find is how to connect with somebody who's actually been a student there and see what their experience was like.
So send me an email, Hannah, HANNAH at Grapevine, and send Andy an email. She really knows about this, ANDIE at grapevine.is.
So we are actually out of battery on our computer, so we have to close.
Okay, I have to go.
Okay, I just want to say thank you guys so much. That was wonderful.
Thank you all for being with us. It's a nice 1 hour at the office at least. For those that are watching, of course, we are regularly with AMA. There is some time frame on this, but I have no idea how we do this. I just let Hilmar decide it.
Hilmar tells us.
Or Art basically just runs things here. But join us the next time. And of course, thank you all. You can always send us questions. And if you don't remember any of these emails we'll be telling you, just send us on editorial at Grapevine, the same as to send the questions. So thanks for everything. And goodbye.
You guys rock. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
And Polly.